Hello everyone, it's me again for another video tutorial. And as we are in the middle of the autumn, I have another 4-page to share with you. And this one was created with Studio 40 products. This is the little Polish company. They are sadly closing with the end of this year, but until then, I will continue to inspire you. And because of they are closing, they are sending out their inventories, so you can purchase box filled with papers or box filled with papers and other embellishments for a really, really great price. I will leave you the link in the description box. But going back to this page, I am using mix of everything. As they didn't release any new collection for fall this year, I'm reaching out for some older stuff. But there is fall kit, autumn vibes, it's called. And I got papers that went into this kit, and they are in 15 by 20 centimeter size, so they are not full 12 by 12, but you can still use them to cut out pieces of paper. And as I'm going to create grid design, so smaller papers are just perfect for this purpose. And as I mentioned, I went through some papers from previous years and picked patterns that work well with this fall color palette, but also with pictures that I chose. I think the main source of the papers is Sweet Serenity collection. This is for sure the paper that I chose for the background. So this kind of looking like a notebook paper. And I also have squares. They are 5 by 5 centimeters, which is about 2 by 2 inches in size. And I will be using them to build the grid on this background. It's looking kind of funny in the camera because the lines kind of disappear, but it has full lines, I promise you. And as you can see, when I move the paper, the pattern in the background changes. And now I'm picking the patterns that I want to use. And some of them will be covered with pictures. Some of them will be embellished with some elements from the fall themed sheets and stickers. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pictures of my daughter Maya when she was like 3 or maybe less. And we were living in the countryside back then. And after the older one went to school, we were walking around, having fun in the garden, in the orchard. And this was one of those sunny fall walks. And I have my squares, and I was going to stitch around each one. But again, you already know me. I am the lazy type of scrapbooker, so I took this super useful tool from the store where they sell things for sewing, like threads, needles, and I don't know how to call this tool in English, and I will not even try. But it just makes those dots that I evenly spaced, and they kind of look like a fake stitching. But it was created if you would like to hand stitch something, you know exactly where to add your stitching because it already punctured the dots for the needle. And each square is being backed with piece of cardboard. I am using this white cardboard, but you can use foam squares, foam tape, whatever you have on hand. I prefer the cardboard for bigger surfaces because it's just cheaper. And I buy it in bulks, like 100 sheets. I use it for creating backgrounds, adding dimension, but I also use it to create mini albums. So when I need a cover or something, I just reach for those papers. You can make boxes out of it. This is the white cardboard used for beer coasters. So it's very, very light and almost white, not entirely white, but You know, it's much better than this gray cardboard, which is much harder and denser, but it also makes it weight more and harder to cut with the regular scissors. I'm backing each square, and it took me a while, especially that I need to add the false stitching over it. So bear with me here. You wanted longer videos, so here they are. Otherwise, I would just cut out this part from this video, so you will not have to watch it. Fall is my favorite season for scrapbooking because I just love those warm colors. Warm color palette. It's so easy to create with for me. I love two types of projects. So I love fall projects and I love travel projects, and those are my most favorite. Of course, I create many others, but I don't know, there is something in this color palette that is so easy to work and so uplifting, I would say. So I have so many fall themed layout, and I was recently, well, 2, 3 weeks ago, shooting a video where I was presenting my fall pages. It's an inspiration, and I went through hundreds of the layouts that I prepared during all the years that I'm scrapbooking. And I picked so many full pages that I just needed to narrow them down because the video would be too long. And I even prepared those tips and tricks carousel posts for Instagram, where I gather some of the picked layouts and I add few words of tips and descriptions under each, so you can check my Instagram account. You can save those for easy reference for the future if you'd like to kind of get into the fall mood. So I have the whole tips and tricks for fall layouts, but I also released the video with the fall pages and quick reel. So there are plenty of inspirations from me. And after everything is glued down, I'm moving to searching for embellishments. And I went through some papers looking for elements I can fussy cut. And I found some pumpkins from a much older collection, but I also found papers with those 3x4 cards where you can cut out some elements. I do not have a lot of embellishments for fall from Studio 40 because I started in March, so it was much after fall. And I just recently got some papers to kind of fill the blank and to be able to create inspirations till the end of the year. So I needed to be creative. There is also few sheets with elements for fussy cutting that were released recently as a part of the Autumn Vibes kit, and I also got them, so I have a few sheets to fussy cut from, and this is the part of this sheet. So I have some mushrooms, I have a rainbow, I found a paper with autumn trees. So it took me a while to fussy cut those elements. I cut this part away from the video because we would kind of easily go till half an hour without any useful tips and knowledge, and I don't have as much to speak about as one might think. Well, I am a chatty person, but you know, I'm the chatty one when there is a reason to chat, but if there is not, I just like staying quiet. Well, I talk a lot to myself in my head, so I'm not staying quiet, but on the outside, it seems like I am quiet. There is constant monologue in my head, and I'm constantly thinking of things, like very random things. I am creating a title which is Fall is Here, and I have those alpha stickers. They are from very old, maybe school or a baby collection. I am not sure, but they are very thin. And I wanted to raise them a little bit above surface. So what I did, I glue each letter on white cardstock and just cutted them out because they were square shaped. It was very easy to do so. And I picked the colors are uh, that are not apparent present in my layout. So I skipped the blue letters because there was also some blue. That's why I needed two sheets of the alpha to reach for the second one when the first sheet was running out of letters with the colors that I wanted. So this is me being creative with the title, and it will be fall is here. And sometimes I want to add different title to my page, but when I just go through all the alphabets that I have, I need to change the idea because I'm running out of specific letters. Of course, you can also always reach for the dice and cut out the letters you are missing, but let's be honest, I'm being lazy a lot. And it was this instance, that's why I just reached for those letters. So the title will be Fall is here, and each letter will be backed with a piece of foam tape to raise it above the surface. A break to sip some tea because it's getting colder. And here is the part when I will be gluing those down. I'm using foam squares. They are 1 by 1 centimeter, 2 millimeters thick, and 2 millimeters is my favorite thickness because 1 millimeter seems like there is nothing there, and 3 millimeters is very bulky, so it's very easy to overdo the bulkiness. If you layer two of them together, it's already like really high. 3 millimeters are perfect when you are creating something like diorama or very dimensional 3D project. So this is where I reach for thicker squares because, you know, there you want to build the dimension faster, and the thicker the foam, the faster it goes. But usually I just use those 2 millimeter thick foams, and I use them a lot, really a lot. I buy them in bulks like 10, and after a month I have zero, so I have to repurchase them. And now it's my favorite part, which is embellishing. And I had this rainbow cut it out, but it had the blue strip. And as I mentioned, I wanted to avoid blue, so I just cut it out this strip. So I changed the embellishment to better fit my needs. And on the left, you can see me going through some other elements. Those are the ones that I cut it out from the sheets from Autumn Vibes kit. And there are not only elements like, you know, mushrooms, leaves, but there are also those super fun tabs, labels that I really love to use to build layers. So it's so easy to tag them underneath the existent layer. And here is the trick that comes very handy that I usually do, which is never glue down elements to the very edge. I usually just only add glue in the middle, and I leave like 1 centimeter on the edges unless I really have to glue it down. But usually I don't, because then you can easily tack things down and it looks like you have so many layers, even though that you started with only one and not intended to add any more. This way you don't have to rip off whatever you have already glued down, and you can easily add another layer or two or three tacked behind because you didn't glue it to the very edge. So this is one of the golden advices from me. If you're making layouts, if you change your opinion a lot, this is a really good tip to follow. Um, Now, after arranging everything, it's time to glue things down to the surface. And as I mentioned, some of those are glued down flat, some of those are added with foam squares, the same ones that I used for the title. And I usually work in stages. So when I'm happy with the major composition, I glue everything down. Then I'm gluing title, and then I'm adding embellishments. I used to scrapbook the way that I put everything. So I only had a base paper, and then I put layers of paper, picture, and embellishment. And when I was happy and I knew I didn't want to change anything, I just started gluing things down. But then one not so wise move, and you move everything around, it falls apart, and you are angry because you don't remember how it was previously and it was perfect before. That's why I work in stages. So I glue down things, then adding another layer to glue down things. This way, you will never ever have problems with moving things uncontrollably. Is this a word? Or maybe there are too many letters in it? I don't know. There are some days that my English is just Englishing. So I'm speaking and it goes like all the words are already here. And some days I feel like I'm mumbling. And today is the day. Today is the day of me mumbling. So I am so sorry if I'm using words that are not existent. There is a possibility I'm just creating them. So I still hope you understand what I'm saying, and my English isn't that bad, so you will not be able to get anything useful from my tutorial. And now I'm adding those chipboard stickers. They are from some older collections, Cozy Time. I don't remember the name of the previous one, but they were also kind of a fall vibe-ish. And the final step is adding those enamel dots here and there. And I also have them from Studio Forte. They come from variety of sets, collections. I just have a bunch of them on my desk and reach for them whenever I want to add some final details. The only boomer for me is that the smallest one is still quite big. I really like those tiny little dots. But let's be honest, I have troubles gluing them down because my nails are quite thick. I paint my nails and put gel on them to make them harder. And this way it's very, very hard for me to use tiny elements on the pages, but still I prefer the smaller ones. And here is the finished design. Here are some close-ups of the layout I created. I hope you like it, and see you soon on other video, of course. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, to press the bell button to get all the notifications. If you have any questions, you can always ask them in comments. And if you have any suggestions, you can always contact me too. Thank you so much for staying here with me. And until the next week. Bye.